Okay, so if you watch our videos, recently I had a video with a tarp called the video was said the Florida tarp or something. It was printed with a design that looks like the woods in Florida, and this is the hammock that's going to go with it. Um, just going to give a brief overview of the entire hammock, and then I'll bring the camera in closer to show some of the more details. So starting out with the net, for the person getting this, you tried a similar hammock like this. Something that is different is the bug net up here. Um, when I would, if you look at our earlier hammocks when they're hanging in the videos and pictures and stuff, when they're hanging, the net looks all nice and pretty and tight and all that kind of stuff. And but it really kind of restricted your movement and everything, and you kind of felt that pull from the net. So I since the hammock that you've tried, I've started making them different, making the nets a little bit looser, and then putting this pleat in here to give them a little bit extra room, so that when you're actually in it, and especially if you scoot over towards the zipper part of it, you don't feel that resistance as much, and it's a lot more comfortable feel, I think. I have one of the pullouts on it, and there's one on each side of the head end and one on each side of the foot end. I just have one on here because I'm going to show you in a minute how it works if you don't already know, for the person getting this. And I one of the things I always tell people with these tie outs is if you use all four of them, if you have your tarp raised up and it's in porch mode, it's not that big of a deal because you can just get out of your hammock and walk straight out. But if your tarp's in A-frame where it's kind of dropped down on both sides, and you use all four of these, then no matter which end of the tarp you go out, you're having to step over these lines all the time, and that's just a potential trip or whatever. So and if you do trip, I mean they're elastic shock cords, so they'll give a little bit, but your head's not when it crashes on the ground. So what I always suggest is, like, I sleep head right and foot left. So if I were to use these, I would put one on my head end to pull that out, and then I'd put one on my foot end to pull that out and really kind of stretch out that diagonal of the hammock. And then if I had it on my foot end here, my tarp is an A-frame, I would walk out back and forth out through this way because there would be no line here. So that's something to keep in mind with the lines. For the this bottom bug net, there's no CMS. For anybody watching this, it's not something we offer. This person and one other person are trying these out, seeing what they think of them. Maybe at some point we might offer them, but right now I just got those two people are testing them out. On your net, here on these D-rings, you have a little hook that just clips on, and that's on both sides of the head end, both sides of the foot end. And then to keep this net, when you draw these, well, there's a shock cord that runs through each side of the net, and there's a cord lock on each end, so you can tighten or loosen that shock cord to make it fit tighter or looser against the hammock. And there's another shock cord that runs through from the left to the right on the head end and foot end, and same thing, it's got shock cords so you can make adjustments on that. For the person getting this, I mentioned I was going to leave these cords long, and as you can see I did, and the reason for that is so you can get in there and kind of fine tune it on how you're going to lay in it and get it right. One thing to keep in mind with your adjustments is right now these are 9 inches from the hook to the cord lock on all four of them. But what a lot of people have to do with their underquilt, and the underquilt has shock cords running through it similar to this. What a lot of people have to do with the underquilt, if they lay head right, foot left, instead of it being perfectly straight, I'm kind of tilting the underquilt. Instead of it being perfectly straight, the foot end would have to be a little lower or a little farther that way, and the head end would be a little farther this way. So it kind of sets more like you're laying. That's what a lot of people end up having to do to get their underquilts to fit right, so that it's not off of their foot or off of their head and shoulder or whatever. So you might have to do something similar with the adjusting of that. We have, just like the net that you saw, I've got 3 cam snaps on each side so the net is snapped to the hammock. The reason I had to do that, with the shot cord running through, it could, when you get in it and the hammock kind of sinks down, the net's going to stay up higher, and that's going to get the net completely tight to your hammock. The big old bugs down in Florida can bite through the hammock material. So if the net's right up against your hammock, they can probably bite through that too. So with the cam snaps on there, you'll be able to, the net will stay, there'll be a gap between the net and your body and the hammock. So that helps out a little bit. To attach it, you'd have all the snaps undone and everything. You take it, you just clip these 2 on a head or foot end, and then bring it underneath it, clip them up there on the opposite end, and then just snap the snaps in place. This will go either way. You can put the net on, this way, or you can reverse it and put it on the other way. But what I did, because you might have to adjust it so it's, sitting more of at an angle. So on this side of the hammock is a name tag right here, and I for the MCN Hammocks name tag, and I put a MCN Hammocks name tag right there on this net. So that way, if you do have to adjust it kind of a little wonky, you can set it up right. You'll know which end, that's the head end of your net where the tag's at, and it's head end of the hammock. That's why I did it that way. You have black cinch buckles with black Amstel ropes on each end. A lot of people will take like the rope on the head end, the Amstel rope on the head end will be a different color than the foot end. That way when it's in the stuff sack, they'll know which end of their hammock is head, which end is foot. Since yours is both the same color, what I did is the drawstring on the drawstring on your stuff sack, the head end of your hammock, it has an orange drawstring. The other one's black. So that way, and it matters to you which end is head or foot end, because you got your nightstand and book bag and all that kind of stuff up here. So that makes a difference. So you can set it up right the first time every time, because the head end of your hammock in the stuff sack is going to be where the orange drawstring's at. So you got underquilt hooks. You got 2 of them here, 2 of them on the other side. Same thing down the foot end. The smaller underquilt hook, the lower underquilt hook. I know you got a underquilt, and I can't remember if it's 3/4 or full length. But if it's 3/4, if you clip the shot cord through here, and if it's a full length, you clip the shot cord through the upper one. That seems to work out pretty good. You got your toggles up here, and so what they're designed for, so you can roll up the net, and you got your little plastic toggle through here. There's a loop up here. Just take the toggle through the loop, and you could do both sides. You could roll up one side of the net or both sides. If you want to just roll up one side while you're putting in your quilts and getting everything situated, or if you just want to roll up one side because you're going to be sitting in your hammock for a little while, and that way the net's just not on your head and stuff all the time, it's out of the way. But if it's all kinds of, every kind of bug net blocks some airflow. So if it's warm outside but the bugs aren't biting, you can roll up both sides of the net and you get that breeze going through there a little bit more. And your top cover, which is here in this little stuff sack, I'll show you this in a minute. The top cover, it has the same toggles on it. I think that's it for a broad view of it. And your straps, your tree straps, I have got these carabiners. They're climbing rated carabiners, and they're so you can stick the net, the carabiner through the net, and then just wrap it around the tree and clip it in place instead of having to run the whole strap through the eye of the strap there. So that makes it a little bit quicker and everything, especially if you got to make some adjustments, like get it set up and you need to raise it a few more inches. But there's a tree limb there, you could just unclip the carabiner and raise it up, then reclip the carabiner, and you're done. Instead of having to take the straps through the cinch buckles and redoing everything. Speaking of cinch buckles, for the person that's getting this or anybody that doesn't know about cinch buckles, I've got a video on our YouTube channel about showing everything about cinch buckles. So check that out and make sure it shows you about tying that overhand safety. Make sure you do that. This, like every other hammock that's brand new, and every other pair of straps that's brand new, it's going to stretch some. The ham still doesn't really stretch, but what it's going to do is it's going to tighten up some. So when you first get in it, that initial sinking, you'll feel everything, it'll come down a little bit because it's tightening up the ham steel ropes in here where the ridge lines go through the continuous loops. And your straps themselves, like being in there for a couple hours, they will kind of stretch. So like the first night that you stay in this, you might end up a little closer to the ground because of the stretch of the strap. So my advice, get the hammock, hang it at some trees, take you a couple hour nap, get the stretch out of the straps. And if you have them really close trees, so your straps from the tree to your hammock is pretty short, that'll stretch out that first night or so. But then if you go, a few nights later, you're at trees farther apart, so now you got more strap being used, it'll stretch out a little bit overnight. So it's just natural. These straps don't have a whole lot of stretch in them, so it's not going to be really bad, but expect the first night or two to have a little bit of, you'll be a little bit closer to the ground. The hammock won't be quite right, and you'll just have to tighten it up a little bit. That's perfectly natural. This here, this is your Beastie D. This is your hook line lock for your tie outs here, and you got shot cord here. So all you do is this has a hook on it, and take it through the hole in the Beastie D, and it clips in place. And then if you want to tighten it, just take this line lock and put it parallel to the ground, and then you can tighten it up, and then all you gotta do is let go, and it stays that way. And you can tighten it up as much as you need, and just let go and it stays that way. To loosen it, just same thing, bring that up parallel to the ground and let it loosen up a little bit and let go, and that's it. So if you decide to use these, that's how you do them. All your zippers have zipper pulls on the inside and outside, and you've got these Beastie Ds, 2 on the head end, 2 on the foot end, and you've got 4 of these ropes with your hammock. One thing I want to say about those pullouts too that I forgot to mention. So right now, I set up your book bag, your nightstand. It's not going to matter. It's going to work out no matter what you do with it or how you lay in the hammock. I hooked your book bag right here on the left side of the head end. I did that because I always sleep head right, so I just put mine head left. The way it works is when you're laying head right, this material here will raise up a little bit, and then your bag's hanging right here, and it makes it kind of hang up, nice, and you put stuff in it, whatever. I'll show you that in a minute. But when you use this and you pull this down, you're keeping that wall down too, and so your book bag's kind of laying flat, and it doesn't work as good. You can still put stuff in it, but it just doesn't work as good. So that's another reason, like if you lay with your head right, foot left, and if you're using these, it works a little bit better if you only put it head right, put one of those head right and one on foot left, and that'll allow this material to come up. You'll figure it out as you're using it, what works best for you. And this book bag, which is this right here, it's got these mitten hooks, and you got these little places to clip it into. They're all down through the hammock, so you can clip it wherever you want to, on any side, head, foot, whatever. I just stuck it here because that's where I keep mine at. That's why it's there. You got some reinforcements here where these cords come out. This cord and the cord that runs through here on all the corners and everything. You got reinforcements there to make that stronger, so your net will hold up a lot longer and everything, and to keep these cord locks from being drawn back in through the channel. So that works out really well. I made this net for the person getting this. You know, I was having some issues. It was different than the one before because this is a wide hammock and the other one was a standard width hammock. Had some issues, so this is the best compromise I can come up with so that it's not laying on the ground getting all wet and all that kind of stuff at a comfortable height for the hammock, but there's still enough play in it so that when you get in there and lay down, it's not just right up against the hammock, you know. So I think it worked out really well. I've had to film this 3 or 4 times because my camera keeps shutting off, so I don't remember if I said it or not. But for the person getting this, whenever I talked to you before, I had talked about making it longer so it clips on to up there, kind of like an underquilt does. But luckily I was able to get it to work like this, like I originally wanted to do it, because that would have had 18 inches more of net on the head end and 18 on the foot end, so giving you a total of about 3 feet of extra net, which would have taken up that much more space in your pack and had that much more weight. This is a really lightweight net, but still, why carry 3 feet of it if you don't have to? So I'm glad this worked out that way. I'll bring the camera in, show you the nightstand and where those tags are on the other side and everything, the book bag, and now I'll bring the camera back and put your top cover on and show you that. Okay, again, since I don't remember, I've had to film this a couple times, I don't remember if I said it or not. First, getting this, I told you that I was going to leave these cords a little bit long. That's because, man, I can't remember if I said this or not. This is so you can have an adjustment. I hope I said a while ago that way you might have to adjust the foot end going down a little bit more towards your foot end, and then have your head end coming more up towards your head. Like an underquilt. Dang it, did I say that a while ago? A lot of people with their underquilt, like I'm taking the underquilt and I'm turning it sideways. Instead of being straight, because right now there's 9 inches between here and here on all 4 of them. But you might, like, if your foot end's on this side, you might need the net to be a little bit more down. You might need the net to be a little bit more down that way, and the head to be up a little bit more that way. That's what a lot of people end up having to do with their underquilts. So that's why the cords are longer. Get in there, have somebody help you adjust it, get it the way you need it, and then you can cut off the excess cords. I can't believe I can't remember if I said all that before. So here's your your book bag right here. And then, like I said, if you're laying on the opposite side of it, it raises up that material and kind of allows that bag to hang more instead of laying flat. And here's your nightstand. When you get in there and stretch out, you're laying at an angle, then this all kind of stretches out. Like the one that you've seen before. This has got a cord lock here that slides down. And also you've got your green and ridge line you want it. These are it's got shot cord going through here that kind of cups this, kind of makes this a bowl. So you can put stuff in here like a jacket or something big in here. And then when you get ready to go to bed, you can just pull it up here, pull this cord up here, and it will shut the, man, I gotta raise that camera up. There. This is what I was talking about, this cord lock here. You can slide that out, that'll open up this nightstand, and then you can put something big in here like a jacket or whatever, and then you can just take it when you get ready to go to bed, take it, and it kind of traps it up in there so it's not going to fall out. This shot cord going through here, where this attaches right here with a clip, and you got a shot cord going through here with a cord lock. This cord lock adjusts the cord that goes up to the peak of the hammock and back down, and then the cord lock on the other side adjusts the cord lock that comes up through here and back down, and then in the front of it, and that helps it kind of make a bowl shape and everything. So depending on what you put in here and how you use it and everything, you might need to tighten it up a little bit more, but all you have to do is pull on the shot cord, get it right, and then slide the shot cord down and tighten it up. In the front, you got, this is your bag. It's a pretty big bag in here. And your zippers in the front, just like the one that you've seen before. So you can access that. Even with this, you know, you got stuff for your jacket or something laying in here and you got this drawn up. Well, when you're laying in your hammock, you can access this for your smaller stuff to get in and out. I've said, you know, on my videos where I've talked about the nightstand before, I keep my little pillow and my sock hat in there, and that way if I'm laying on my back, I don't use my pillow. If I lay on my side for a while at night, I use my pillow. I can just reach up there, unzip that, grab my pillow, and, you know, use it. Because anything you just, like if you just lay a pillow or something in your hammock, it's going to end up under your butt. Anything you put in your hammock, you're going to lose it, and it's going to be under your butt, and you're going to have to fight and waller around for 30 minutes trying to get to it. This is of course, our MCN Hammocks tag here, and on the net, got the MCN Hammocks tag there. And so if you have to adjust your net a little bit, you know, one side or the other, then once you get it that way you can put it right every time after that. Just line up that MCN Hammocks tag with this MCN Hammocks tag, and you're good to go. So now I'm going to take the top cover on there. You can see right there is the shot cords. Same thing on the foot end. That's what your top cover will attach to. So let's get that hooked up and I'll show you that. Alright, so this is the same fabric, that same argon fabric that you've seen before. On that other net, you have a mitten hook here, and it goes on this loop on this end. And then down on your foot end is another shot cord loop, and that mitten hook attaches there. So your hammock, I'm checking to make sure it's all in frame. Yeah. So your top cover is like this. You got the same, here's the loop. Here's the toggles for this. So you could do the same thing. You can roll up one side of this, or you can roll up both sides of it, just like your bug net. You've got cam snaps here. You've got female end on this side here. You can see you've got your reinforcement material here and stuff. Female snap here, female snap here. Got a male snap up here. It's got reinforcement panel behind it. And then down here on your hammock somewhere, oh sorry, on your zipper, let me put this up. So on your zipper, there's a male snap. There's one there, one in the middle, and one on the foot end. Same thing on the other side. Just like the net being loose, this is loose. And of course, if you were laying in there and you had your head up against that side, that would be tight. Or if you use one of the tie outs, that would be tight. If I make it so it's tight right now, then your hammock's not going to be comfortable when you lay in it. So that's loose like that on purpose. What you could do if you want some extra ventilation, unsnap this, take this female one and snap it up here. And now you've got all that airflow there. You could do however you want to do it, but it does it here and there, and same thing on the foot end. This will unsnap and snap up here. So you could do it like that on both sides. You can just use one of them, you can 4 of them, 3 of them, 2 of them, however you want to do it. It works like that. And then also this, these snaps are really tight when you first get them. They'll loosen up a little bit. Just be careful. Don't be just grabbing it and pulling it. I've got reinforcement materials there and everything, but it's material. It's thin material, you know, so it will last if you do it right, but if you just grab it and start jerking the snaps off, you might tear something up. So it's attached to the zipper. That way when you're getting in and out, this is attached to your zipper, so you don't have, all you gotta do is unzip it and everything. It's good to go. For anybody watching this, with this top cover, I'll have to check my notebook, but I'm pretty sure this was the last top cover that we're building. This person getting this hammock, she was one of the people that had asked for it a while back, and so whenever she did decide to order a hammock and tarp, we went ahead and made her one, top cover. But the reason I'm not making it anymore is because, to be honest, the work that goes into it, the money that I charge for them, is not worth the work that goes into it. If I charge enough to make it worth it to me to make one, then 2 things are going to happen. First of all, people might not, more people would decide they don't want one. But also, it works good, but I don't think it traps enough heat. And that's my biggest issue with having a top cover. I want something to trap heat. I don't think it traps enough heat. If I raise the price to make it more worth my time to make one, I don't think that price would be worth the small amount of heat that it traps in here. It does block some wind and all that kind of stuff, but if it's cold and you got your tarp down in A-frame mode, you're going to be blocking the majority of that wind anyway. So I am working on a different style that will be a little bit easier to make, and so I can kind of keep the cost down and stuff, and hopefully a little bit more efficient. I don't know though as far as efficient, because I've had my top cover like this completely snapped down and everything all buttoned up, and knowing I was going to trap a lot of condensation in there, because the way this ventilates, there's no other top cover out there that ventilates has as many options for ventilation as our top cover does. So when you have it ventilated really well, you can get rid of that condensation. But then if you got it ventilated really well, you're not really trapping the heat. You snap it all down, so you're trapping that heat. And then I don't think it traps enough heat to make it worth the condensation. So I like mine. I use it. I know whenever I use it, it's going to be all buttoned up like this, and I know I'm going to get condensation, but I got a synthetic bag. I'm not worried about the condensation, and to me, for that, and most times I use it, for me, it's worth it. But as a general product to sell to a wide variety of people, I would like to come up with a different design, something different, and or I'm going to have to raise the price up on this quite a bit. So this is the last one of these that we're making. I'll check my notebook. There might be some other random person out there that I forgot about, but I think this is the last one of these that we're making, top covers. Maybe, like I said, maybe if I come up with that other design that works out well, then maybe, or I don't know. Anyway, for the person that's getting this, I think that's it. Check out this video, see what you think. Let me know if you like it and it got everything the way you want it. And I think I've been talking this whole time with my head chopped off, so I'll get down here so I can see you. I think everything that we talked about's on here. Your nightstand, your book bags. We got this nut done. This nut kicked my butt for a while. It was kicking my butt. I don't know why, but it was. But I got it done. Got your cinch buckles, black cinch buckles, green ridgeline, straps. Watch the cinch buckle video on our YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. Got your top cover, and it's that really lightweight fabric, the argon fabric. This has also got a DWR coating. I made a mistake of forgetting my tarp one time, and it kind of saved me a little bit from the heavy dew and stuff at night. I think everything's on there. Got your 4 pullouts. Got your climbing rated carabiners. Hammock came out really nice. Top cover, bug net, everything came out right. Book bag. There's a zipper pull on there, a zipper of your book bag too, if I didn't show you that a while ago. That is it. I got some, those things we talked about for your paddleboard. I got this bright colored webbing. I'm gonna try that, see if that works. You know what I'm talking about. And I hope you enjoy it. The only thing I got left to do is I gotta make a small stuff sack for this. It'll end up being about the same size as this. Pretty small stuff sack. And I want to make your stuff sack that I have on this right now a little bit bigger. It's really, really tight to get everything in, so I think I'm going to redo that tonight before I get this all ready to ship. Works now, but I don't like it. It just takes a little bit more work to get stuff in there than what I would like, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. That's it. Enjoy it. Who knows, maybe you'll give up tents completely. Even though you got a nice one, nice tent. Maybe you'll give them up completely, quit being a ground dweller, and enjoy the hammock life.